The first screen to visit on the Title I Part A series of budget screens is the budget summary screen. You will see that we have accepted $9,211 of indirect cost, or indicated that on a prior screen. Also see that we have $111,917 of carryover with our new allocation for a total of $858,033 to allocate. Further down under budget areas, you'll see a breakdown of how those funds will be allocated. $11,361 is going towards our private school services. $30,000 towards our administrative Title I budget. And another $50,000 is going towards other district costs, like our homeless reservation. Our Title I schools will be receiving $757,461. $7,718 of which is for family engagement reservations. And that will be all that we have to allocate at this time. The other thing we can do right now is enter in our contact information. Now that I've saved, you'll see several errors, and these are because our budgets are not zeroed out. Similar to Megs Plus, there are two different areas to enter budget items. One is budget items, and that's where all the district level budgets items will go. The other is grant member budgets. And just like all the other budget screens where you have to enter grant member budgets, you need to click on the arrow and go to each school and click on the arrows before you enter in those budget items. But we're going to start first at the budget items for the district. So we have $50,000 set aside for a homeless reservation. So we are going to enter that. That would go under a Title I Part A basic district program cost. There's no private school to enter for that. And let's say we want it all to go toward part of it to go towards our homeless liaison. So again, we're not fully completing our descriptions at this point, just for sake of time. Homeless liaisons are 226. They're no longer considered administrative. And we'll say that that is 15,000 and 10,000. And that ends up being 0.25 of an FTE. So we'll save that. Once that is saved, we have an additional 25,000 to reserve. So we're going to add a budget item. We are going to add, since we've saved, remember saving and then just writing over it will not add us a budget item. It will overwrite the budget item that we already had. We want to make sure we click add. So again, homeless reservation is a basic district program cost. This time, let's do after school tutoring. So homeless students at the high school, and it's a 125. And we're going to say that those are hourly wages. We'll go for 10,000. So let's go 7,000 and 3,000 salaries and benefits. And we'll say that's a total of 30 hours. Let's see, 30 hours, 300 hours. And we'll save that. And so now we have 15,000 left to allocate. Let's say we want to add a transportation homeless reservation item. So again, under basic district program cost, let's just say it's all on bus tokens. So transportation is a 271 function code. And it's going to be a purchase service. And we'll say that's $5,000 worth. And we should have 5,000 more. So we've saved, we'll add another budget item. Budget item type, district program cost, no private school. Let's say homeless academic supplies like backpacks, calculators, books, etc. And we'll call that a 361 since it's not necessarily needed for a class, but might be more for overall academic needs. And that will be under supply and material, $5,000. I think that will zero us out for that amount. So let's check. If we go back to budget summary, and we get to budget summary, we'll scroll down to get to our basic district program costs, and we'll see if our balance is zero. Oh, look at that. I am 5,000 short. So go back in there and budget items. Now what you'll see is I've got 4 budget items that I've done. I can click on any one of those to add a budget item to there. But when I get there, I want to make sure I click add. And we'll do one more, basic program cost. Let's say personal homeless, personal welfare, supplies, and it's a 361 and 5,000. Save. After this saves, we'll go back to the budget summary screen, and it should be zeroed out for that. Now that I'm back at the budget summary screen, I can see as I scroll down that my my basic other district program cost of 50,000 budgeted, so I have 0 left. So the next thing I want to do is take care of my administrative budget. And again, to do that, we go to budget items, click on any one of the budget items that we've completed. And when we get there, we click add. And we go to Title I basic program administrative cost. And let's say all $30,000 is going to go towards our Title I director. And that would be a function code 226. And we'll say 20,000 and 10,000. And it's 5 of an FTE and save. Now that it's saved, we'll go back to budget summary. Now that we're back at the budget summary screen, you'll see that we have one less error, and that's because we zeroed out our district administrative costs in our budget. So we're 0 there, 0 there. Now all it's left to do is allocate funds to our Title I schools and our private schools. To take care of the private schools, we will want to go back to budget items, click on any one of the budget items that's there to bring us to that screen, and then click add. So back on the equitable services screen for Title I, we took a screenshot just so we would remember how much we need to allocate for each building. So yes, our total is 11,361, but we want to remember that $16 needs to go towards parent and family engagement for one private school and $79 for the other. And then $2,044 for instruction and professional development versus $9,222. So that's why we said it was important to either write those numbers down, print the screen, or take a screenshot. So for the first one, what we will add, it is an equitable services program cost, and we'll start with this first school. And I caught myself already. I was about to overwrite one of the items that I already did. So I'll just go to add, and I have unsaved changes. I do want to continue because I don't want to write over what I'd already done. So, all right, equitable services program cost, private school, and descriptions. We'll do family engagement. So family engagement for and it's a 371 function code, and it's a supply and material for $16. We'll save that. And the next one for that school is 2044. So we will do, this was an out-of-district private school. So we are going to treat this one a little bit differently. So we'll do equitable services program cost, and it's for that school. And we will say that we are in a memorandum of understanding with another district to serve this school, and we're going to send those funds to that district. So this one will say understanding. District to serve 7 students at a private school. And that is a function code 371. Now, that doesn't go in salaries or benefits, purchase services. That would go into the other category. And it's for $2,044. And we will save that. These payments to other schools go in the other category. We're done with that one, so we're going to add another, and this is going to be for $79 for our family engagement for the in-district private school. So equitable services program cost, private school, and engagement. Take home resources, and we'll just leave it at that. And it's a 371. And supply and material, $79, save. And then we'll add our last one. And we'll just say that this is a Title I interventionist teacher on providing literacy services. Equitable services, put the correct school in. And one literacy teacher. And that's a 371. Or 9,301, so do 5,000 here, 4,222 there. And so this is, let's say that buys them 100 hours. Oops. That way. And we'll save. Now let's go back to the budget summary screen and see how we did. All right, so as you'll see, we have even fewer error messages now. We have taken care of all of our district level reservations. Our balances are at 0. So now all that's left to do is allocate these remaining funds to our Title I schools. And to do that, we do each one the same way. You start by going to grant member budgets, click on the arrow. We choose the school that we'd like to work on. And the first thing I want to do is just remind myself of exactly how much each school should be receiving. And I can do that a couple different ways. If I took a screenshot from the school level budget screen, that will have that information for me. But the other thing I can do is click on the name of the school, and it will tell me what the remaining balance to be allocated is. As it's loading here, right, I have to allocate $240,278 to this school, part of which is the family engagement reservation that I also need to include. So I'm going to go ahead and add budget items to Franklin Elementary, this school here. So I click on the arrow, I click on the down arrow, and I go to grant member budget items for Franklin Elementary. This is a little bit different in that the only choice I have is Title I school program cost. But let's say I want to have 2 full-time Title I teachers. Right, and there will be 2 FTEs, and they're both going to be 125s. And let's say that each one total package is 100,000. So let's say 60,000 for each, and their benefits are 80,000 total. So 2 FTEs. We'll save, and I want to add my family engagement reservation now. I couldn't quite remember what I had decided to allocate for family engagement at Franklin Elementary, but I So I pulled up my screenshot and I have $4,718 to allocate there. So we'll do that one next. So I want to go 2 family nights for literacy and math. And this is going to go towards supplies, meals, and other items needed. If this was your budget item, you would get this sent back because there isn't enough detail. That is a 331, and again 4,718. Save that, and I know I have more to allocate for Franklin Elementary, but I just want to show how I would go about adding other school level budgets. Before I go to Lincoln Elementary, the other thing I need to point out is in order to finalize this school's budget or to load whatever budget items I've added, similar to Section 31 Part A, I need to click on the name of the school and go to that budget summary screen, and that will pull in any of the budget items that I've created. And so you won't see the 0 anymore. You'll see how much has been, how many budget items have been created for this specific school. Now that I'm at the grant member budget summary for this elementary school, you'll see I did the 200,000, which was the 2 staff members, plus the $4,718 for the family nights. I've still got I still have $35,560 left to allocate. I'm getting an error that needs to be 0, so I'll need to go back in there and add budget items to 0 this one out. Now, if I want to add budget items to another school, that's pretty easy. All I do is go to the arrow, and I go to the school that I want to allocate budget items for. So we're going to go to Lincoln Elementary. I click on the arrow down, and I click on grant member budget items, just like I did for Franklin Elementary, and I start adding the budget items in there. I'm going to go ahead and complete this for the remaining elementary schools and show you what the next steps will be after that. Now that I've finished adding all my budget items, and I've clicked on every school's budget summary, you'll see I don't have any more exclamation marks, which means I have no errors. I have all my budget items added. The only one I have left up here is the budget summary, and that's just because it hasn't pulled everything into the budget summary screen yet. So I go visit that next, and you'll see that my budget summary is now checked. Okay, up with the function codes, I've got all of my totals here. My remaining to be budgeted is 0. My balances are all 0. Even my family engagement is all taken care of. So I'm done with the budget portion of Title I Part A. Now, the last thing that will need to be done, either now or at amendment time, is under Title I Part A attachments. This is where you will add the Title I Part A targeted and school-wide program planning templates that are required this year. So you might want to title them the name of the elementary, the name of the schools that they belong to. And then you will go to select and choose the file that you want to attach and save. And then for every one that you save, you'll want to add another one, and you'll be able to add multiple attachments here. So this section is where you'll add all of those templates that are required this year.